I always thought my dad remarried too quickly after my mom passed. It had only been a year. He introduced me to Maria, my new stepmother, at our family home, the same home my mother had filled with laughter and warmth. Maria was beautiful, almost unnaturally so. She had perfect skin, eyes, the color of a summer sky, and a smile that never quite reached them. From the moment I shook her hand, a cold dread settled in the pit of my stomach. Her skin felt like smooth, cool marble, not like a person at all. My dad was completely He said she was a blessing, someone to help us heal. But whenever she was around, the air grew heavy, and a strange silence would fall over the house. The plants my mom had so lovingly tended to began to wither. My dog, Buddy, who loved everyone, would growl and hide whenever Maria entered a room. My dad just brushed it off, saying Buddy was just being territorial. I knew it was more than that. Maria tried hard to win me over. She'd cook my favorite meals, but they always tasted slightly off, with a metallic aftertaste I couldn't place. She'd buy me expensive gifts, things I never asked for, and watch me with an unnerving intensity as I opened them. Her smile was a constant, plastered on her face like a mask, but her eyes were empty, cold, and calculating. They followed me everywhere. One evening, I was doing my homework at the kitchen table. My dad was working late. It was just me and Maria. She was humming a tune I'd never heard before, a discordant, haunting melody that made the hairs on my arms stand up. I glanced up and saw her reflection in the darkened kitchen window. For a split second, her face wasn't her own. It was distorted, elongated, with hollowed-out sockets where her eyes should have been, and a gaping, silent scream where her mouth was. I blinked, and the reflection was normal again. Maria was just smiling at me, that same, perfect, empty smile. My heart was pounding so hard, I thought it would burst. I started avoiding her, making excuses to stay in my room or at friends' houses. But the house itself felt different. I'd hear faint scratching sounds from inside the walls at night. Doors would creak open on their own. I'd catch glimpses of a tall, shadowy figure out of the corner of my eye, but when I'd turn, there was nothing there. I told my dad I was scared, that something was wrong with Maria. He got angry. He said I was being disrespectful, that I was just struggling with grief and projecting it onto her. He told me to stop being so dramatic. I felt so alone. The real terror began when I started having nightmares. Every night, it was the same dream. I was standing in my mom's old room, which Maria had redecorated in sterile shades of gray and white. In the dream, I'd walk to the antique vanity mirror that had belonged to my grandmother. My reflection would be there, but standing behind me was Maria. Except it wasn't the Maria my dad saw. Her skin was gray and stretched taut over her skull. Her hair was thin and wispy, and her eyes were two burning coals in the darkness. She would slowly raise a skeletal hand and reach for my shoulder. I'd wake up screaming, drenched in a cold sweat, right before she touched me. One night, curiosity and fear got the better of me. I had to know if what I was seeing was real. My dad was out of town for a conference. I waited until I heard Maria go to her bedroom, my mom's old bedroom. The humming started, that same chilling tune from the kitchen. I crept down the hallway, my heart in my throat. Her door was slightly ajar. I peered through the crack. Maria was standing in front of the vanity mirror, her back to me. She was perfectly still, but her reflection was moving. It was the creature from my nightmares. The reflection's head was slowly turning, its hollow eyes scanning the room in the mirror. It saw me. The reflection in the mirror raised a long, bony finger and pointed directly at me. Its mouth stretched into an impossibly wide, silent shriek. I didn't scream. I was too terrified. I just backed away, slowly, quietly, my body trembling uncontrollably. I ran to my room, locked the door, and barricaded it with my desk. I sat on the floor, hugging my knees to my chest, listening. The humming stopped. Then I heard it. A slow, deliberate scratching sound. Not from the walls this time. It was coming from my bedroom door. Scratch, scratch. Then, a voice, sweet as honey, but laced with something ancient and evil, whispered from the other side. I know you're in there, my dear. Why are you hiding? Let me in. We have so much to talk about. It was Maria's voice, but it wasn't. It was layered, as if a dozen other voices were whispering underneath hers. The scratching got louder, more frantic. The doorknob began to rattle violently. I scrambled to my window, fumbled with the latch, and climbed out onto the roof. I didn't look back. I jumped to the ground, ignoring the searing pain in my ankle, and I ran. I ran as fast as I could, down the street, into the darkness, away from that house, away from that thing pretending to be my stepmother. I never went back. I called my aunt from a payphone. She picked me up. No questions asked, just a horrified look on her face as she saw my state. I tried to explain, but the words wouldn't come out right. I just kept babbling about the mirror. Later, we learned that my dad never came back from his conference. The police said he disappeared without a trace. The house was sold. The new owners reported strange occurrences, whispers in the night, a woman's reflection seen in mirrors where no one was standing. They moved out within a month. It's been 10 years. I still have nightmares. Sometimes, late at night, when I'm alone and I happen to glance at a reflective surfacey window, a television screen, a puddle on the street, I see her. For just a second, her hollow eyes, her silent scream. I know she's still out there, and I know she's still looking for me. So, if you ever find yourself looking in a mirror and the person behind you, isn't who you think they are, run.